Hi, how are you? My name is Hannah Ibrahim, and I'm a life coach right here in East Brunswick, New Jersey. And today something happened that I just wanted to share with you. I was walking around in Walmart, and I was just buying my own stuff or whatever. And it was so strange that I was actually stopped by three random people that I never met before, in like three consecutive times, not at one time. And the first one just started to talk to me, and she was talking about the war and what's going on in the Middle East and all that stuff, and she was really upset. And of course I understand, and I listened to her, and she was, she was very, very disturbed about what's going on. And of course, I just stood there and I listened to her, and I kept thinking, I only have one shot to say something to her because I'm never going to meet her again. And the only thing I could think of saying was, just keep the peace of, keep peace in your heart, and know that God's grace will win at the end. And then I walked a little bit more, and then that this other guy, just smiled, and he said, "Hey, how are you doing today?" And I said, I'm fine, thanks. And he says, keep smiling. God knows what's going on by tomorrow. And I'm like, oh God. And then I just kept walking. And then this other guy, I'm trying to pick up something heavy. And then he carries it for me. And I'm like, thank you so much. And he goes, yeah, it's my good deed of the day. God knows what's going to happen. And it hit me. And I'm like, I told you before, for anybody that listens, that follows me, is I don't really listen to the news. I'm aware of what's going on, and I'm not ignorant to the horrifying horrors that are going on, but I don't have the heart to sit there and listen to it for hours. But you know, it's it just showed me how much everybody's really affected mentally and emotionally, and we're all invested in what's going on. And all I can say is, the world goes through turbulence every few every few years, and it just gets more horrifying because, of course, technology gets even harsher as far as human lives are concerned. But there's one thing that I learned a long time ago. When there's so much horrors that are going on Earth, we are powerless. All we can do is, our power falls in prayers. All we can do is just pray for peace for the earth, and for everybody, and to give wisdom to our leaders. And what I also learned, a long time ago, that I just want to share with you, I'm sure, you guys know it, but it's just a quick reminder, is we talk a lot about the end of the world, and when things like this happen, if you're very religious, then everybody's opening the Bible and talking about, this is the prophecies. And every time something happens in the world, we open the Bible and we say, oh, this is the prophecies. Even the Bible says we don't know when anything will happen, and we will hear about wars and famine, and and things that will happen on earth, but this is not the time. No one knows when the time is. So, I'm just calling for, just keep the peace in your heart. Keep praying that God will bring peace to the world and wisdom to our leaders, and stop all these horrors that are going on. And it's really sad. And at the same time, bring it down to does it mean to you? The end of the world is not just the end, like the whole world doesn't have to die, so we have to worry about our personal end of the world. The end of the world for each one of us is when we leave, when I personally get to leave. Am I ready or not? So simplify what the word end of the world means as far as you're concerned, and pray for the world, for peace. And that's what we can do. And meanwhile, live your life, enjoy the peaceful days that we have, and enjoy whatever it is that we can do for now, and love everybody, and then just take care of yourself and take care of everybody you love, and just keep praying. Thank you.